So, Nintendo has finally given us a release date, a release window really, for the Switch's upcoming paid online service. And segue 5 seconds into the video, there seems to be a lot of people when this was announced that were arguing about, whether or not this was another, quote, delay. I guess some big news sites called it that, said it was delayed until September. Some of the viewers were really ticked off, I guess, about it. To my knowledge, since the last delay, we didn't really get a release date, so I don't really see this as a delay, but I don't know, do people really care? I mean, I saw a lot, like I said, when I looked at some of these news sites, I saw a lot of people freaking out, like, it's not a delay, it's not a delay. It's like, calm down, guys, it's not that big of a deal, but yeah, I don't know, I don't see it as a delay. Anyway, come September of this year, we will finally have the honor, the privilege, to pay Nintendo to play games online on the Switch, effectively killing the free online dream for consoles, that is. Nintendo was the last holdout. Now, wherever you go, you have to pay more to play games online. Oh, PC Master Race! Yeah, I can't really argue against that stance in this instance. Now, it looks like it's going to be something like $20 a year, not a big deal. But dude, think about it. If you're trying to have online now for all three of the big consoles, you're up to like, what? $140 a year? I think it's $60 for each of the other two, I believe. And yeah, I know there's often sales and stuff for the online services, but we go by the retail standard here. I get my games at Best Buy for 20% off with Gamer Clubs, but I don't go around saying, oh, this game costs $48, that game costs $48. No, they're $60. And while if it is $20, it will be the cheapest by far, it's still not free, okay? Once you ask someone to pay for something, well, you've got to sell them on it. Convince them that the value is there. I don't care if it costs a quarter, okay? Do you go up to every gumball machine you see and grab a gumball because, oh, it's just a quarter. It's basically nothing. You may as well get one every single time you see one, right? No, you don't. One, you probably don't even want a gumball if you're not 5. And even if you do, disgusting germ-ridden children have been touching that machine. You're asking to get sick. If you touch it, don't even look at it. Okay? It's not worth it. So how can Nintendo sell people on this online service? Have they already sold you, perhaps? That's something I'd really like to know. If you're already, signed, sealed, delivered on this thing, I'd like to know. I guess if you're playing a lot of, Splatoon and Mario Kart 8, and you plan to keep playing that by the end of this year, I could see it. But I think for most people, there's going to be a lot of holdouts, especially early on, unless they do some big things, especially with the way things look right now. We don't even really have any big multiplayer games in sight, for one. At least nothing I'm aware of. You can feel free to correct me on that. Pokemon, I guess, for things announced. Pokemon will inevitably have some sort of online multiplayer, right? Even if it's just battles. I hope we actually get something more than that, honestly, with this new Pokemon game. I'm not usually the biggest advocate of multiplayer in traditionally single-player games, but Pokemon is just, it's one of those things that, since I was a kid playing it on the original Game Boys, I always just wanted to be able to run around and explore those worlds with friends. Even if it was some sort of, instanced map or something would be cool. But yeah, I do think if they ended up doing something bigger with the multiplayer in Pokemon, that could be a big seller in itself. But yeah, they're going to need, a big game to really sell people on this service. The most obvious first choice would be, yes, Smash Brothers, okay? You don't have to type it in the comments, guys. We know. We know you guys want Smash Brothers, okay? I feel like at this point, you're on two sides of the spectrum with this Smash Brothers on the Switch situation. You're either commenting that you want Smash on the Switch in every single video that has anything to do with Nintendo, or you're like me, and you want Nintendo to announce Smash on the Switch just as much as those people, but only because that will make them shut up about wanting Smash on the Switch. I mean, I do, let's not be too mean. Of course, I would love to play Smash on the Switch, but the clamoring for it is borderline obnoxious at this point. However, that demand does mean sales. I mean, this game, anything Smash, hell, even if they put just Smash 64 with online, it would probably do big numbers. But I've said in the past, I think some sort of Smash 4 port, a Smash 4 Deluxe, perhaps with some new stages and characters, would make the most sense. I know you want a new Smash Brothers game, okay? I know. But there's no way we're going to get something like that by September. And simply porting a game over doesn't mean you won't get a new one at some point. And coming off of my last video, those sales Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has been doing, yeah. I think they'd be stupid to not try something similar for Smash. Personally, I know this is a pipe dream, but for me, God, I wish they would reconsider, like, everything, honestly. Everything they're doing in terms of the interface, connecting and chatting with friends online, all that sort of stuff. Basically the reason you want to have your console connected to online. That phone app. Ugh, so dumb. Just make it so everything can be done on the console. Streamline it. It's 2018 now, for Christ's sake, when this thing's gonna launch. And don't give me this, oh, but the children, think of the children crap. They're typically the ones who are the nuisances online. And if your kid already has access to the internet on a computer or a phone, I'm sorry, Mom and Dad. Their innocence is probably long gone. And also, I've mentioned this before, the DS had voice chat, okay? So also don't give me this, oh, the Switch can't handle it on its own, trash. And this is a lot of what makes it so hard for me to justify paying for this service. Again, this is my opinion. Like, even if it is 20 bucks, for something that is so clunky and outdated feeling, just doesn't seem right to me. I mean, obviously, because, you know, I do mostly Nintendo stuff on YouTube, there's no way I wouldn't pay it. But, you know, just trying to justify it for myself as the casual consumer. Again, 2018, I gotta connect my phone to my system and plug my headset into my phone, and there's gonna be wires all, it's just, Beyond that, getting some games, at least one game that is going to be a big seller for the online, and just improving the overall online functionality. The one thing I hear people request almost as much as Smash, probably not as much, unsurprisingly, but just about as much, in terms of something that would have some sort of online element, is, of course, the Virtual Console. How will that work with this online service? There has to be something there. You know, I'm aiming low, I feel like, and hoping that by being subscribed to this online service, you at least get a discount on games for the Virtual Console. You know, if Nintendo just wanted to destroy everyone, blow Microsoft and Sony out of the water in terms of value for online, they'd do some sort of Nintendo Netflix type deal. I think this is something we can all agree on, similar to the Xbox Game Pass I've been talking about recently. If, like, for a few bucks a month you had access to a massive Nintendo back catalog spanning the NES through the GameCube, I think you'd have people climbing over each other to sign up for that service. I believe it will happen eventually, I really do. I don't know if Nintendo feels it's time for something like that, though, as, you know, that would certainly have to have, like, a monthly fee, or certainly more than 20 bucks a year for the value you'd be getting out of something like that. And I doubt that, you know, with them trying to sell this initial online service first, they'd want to throw anything even bigger like that at you off the bat. But down the line, I certainly see it happening. I think there's so much money to be made there, again, with some kind of Nintendo Netflix type deal. And we know with that free game you're supposed to be getting per month to play with that online service, that those games are going to have newly added online functionality. Oh my god, I hope that that becomes like a standard for the Virtual Console. I mean, being able to play some of those multiplayer classics, specifically on the N64 for me, would be great with added online. I would be all over that. I'm sure once the Virtual Console launches, if it is like what we've seen in the past, certainly there will be some way, right, to play these older games on the Switch. We don't know if they're going to do the same thing as they've done before. But if it is like the standard Virtual Console deal, you know, if you're getting a discount on each purchase, I think you'll hit that 20 bucks you're paying for it really fast, especially a lot of the core Nintendo fans. So there would be a lot of value in that. Anyway, with that, this video's a wrap. Let me know how Nintendo can sell you on the Switch's upcoming paid online service in the comments. What sorts of games you want there to be for you to play. Do you want to see improvements to the overall online experience? Do you expect things like discounts on digital purchases? Let me know. As always, I'm John Zacari, and thanks for watching.